Hello and welcome to How to Invest for Yourself. I am Jason, and today we're going to be talking about the FOMO movement that's going on with Bitcoin and all the altcoins and things like that. And rightfully so. I mean, people don't want to be, left behind, things like that. I also want to talk about my current stocks and my dividends. This is mostly a podcast, so I expect that most of you guys are relaxing somewhere, probably watching YouTube and just not really doing much of anything. So I don't expect for you to be watching my screen too much. But in this case, I'll be sharing a couple screens and giving you some information on how you can look up when stocks pay dividends and things like that, and where you can find that information. Um, Also, I have like some allergies and stuff going on because of where I'm traveling right now. So I'll be sniffing and coughing and sneezing. So I'm just apologizing ahead of time. I know that can be annoying at times when you're wearing headphones or something and someone sniffs or sneezes and blows chunks basically. That's pretty graphic, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It's not very pleasant. All right, so I'll go ahead and start off with the disclaimer that nothing that I share is financial advice, right? Everything that I said that I'm telling you guys is just my sole opinion. It's my observations, my ideas, my plans, my thoughts, things that affect around me, affect my goals, what my goals are, and what my why is. Right. My goal is to reach fire as soon as possible. I want to take my family with me on this journey, and I want to take you guys on this journey with me. And the things that I share, it'll help you, it'll guide you. It may open up your eyes to ideas or thoughts that you may already know or may have never heard before. Right. So, but if you're seeking any kind of financial advice, I do suggest that you look for a fiduciary, CPA, or someone who's certified in giving that kind of advice. I'm just some random guy here on YouTube sharing my experience, and I just want to be transparent with you guys. So I know that you guys probably seen way back in the beginning days, whenever I started up this YouTube channel, that I was going to say, I just want to share my journey, the debt that I had, and how I was getting out of debt and things like that. So, in doing that, I started investing in Robinhood back in 2021. So, if you want to take a look at my account here, I did have this dividend portfolio tracker, and it does start. Let me scroll back over here in 2021. See, there's nothing up here in 2020, but here in 2021, I did buy some stocks. Started getting serious with stocks. I did buy a few, way back, even before, probably about 2010-ish. Somewhere around there is when I bought into the IPO of Tesla, and that's pretty much all I did. I just bought one share, and that's all I was allowed to buy. It was like experimental for me and just getting my feet wet in the stock market. But I've always had a niche or an itch to want to really invest and retire early. I just didn't know how to do it. I even never heard of the fire movement or anything like that before. So just looking at this, you can see like how the dividends have grown or over time, right? So you got $5 here by the end of 2021. Here in 2022, there's $7. So it's growing because I reinvested my dividends and did the drip. But you can see every single stock had been going up, and I hadn't been putting much money into it. Very slowly, every once in a while, throw a couple bucks in, and then you can see here like this one's at $8 here at the end of 2024. The 3M had gone up, almost a whole dollar. So you see how it's like super, super slow, and it can be discouraging at first. And you can see it, right? It's very gradual, but the account is still increasing, right? It's still increasing in value, still increasing in value, and then you get towards these guys, the EFTs or ETFs, sorry. And then I really started going nuts and buying all these other stocks. But you can see here that I started getting in yield max. So I started getting into yield max, and you can see there's a massive drastic difference between the stocks that I have back here, what their averages are. You can see like there's 78 cents here for the whole year, 45. I think what's the most I've made? 12 bucks, 13, 69. So this one, the FRO was really good, but I did throw a whole bunch of money into that one um, a while back. And so here you can see that I started getting serious. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to throw $100 in every single week and just buy dollar cost average into these yield max funds. They seem to be doing pretty good. And you can see my Nvidia stocks are doing really good. Like I got, $178.61. That's really good in my opinion compared to the rest of my dividend paying stocks. So I was like, I can take this money that I'm making from these ETFs and invest them in the more stable ones like Coca-Cola, 3M, ExxonMobil, Pepsi, stuff like that. I could still invest that money in there, but I'm not going to get nowhere near the return fast enough or grow my account fast enough with capital than these ETFs. And so here you can see I started to get a little more serious at the end of December. I bought into Coney and I only got like $9 and 45 cents. So that wasn't too bad when I only bought like a couple shares. I was like, I'm just gonna experiment with this. And that's what I told my wife. I was like, I'm just gonna experiment with this. I just want to see how it goes. And I just bought, $100 here and put a little money there, a little here and a little there. And then I was watching more YouTube videos and I was like, you know what? People are right when they go to think about, to me, this is just my thought. Like I said, this is just my opinion. People are right to say people look at debt as a bad thing, and it can be. But there's a difference between good debt and there's a difference between bad debt. Where am I going with this? Well, with most accounts, you can turn on leverage, but I wouldn't necessarily. It's not so much leverage. Well, it is like leverage, but I'm saying like margin is what it's called. So I decided to turn on margin not too long ago. I think it was in January that I turned on margin. So I was like, okay, my ideal is to keep the margin low and my interest payments low on the amount of money I borrow. There should be nothing wrong with that as long as the stock doesn't drop. And I figured, knowing that this is an election year coming up, 2024, that the economy always turns around and goes up because the politicians want to get elected or get reelected to say, "Oh, look what we did to the economy. Aren't you glad that you got extra money in your pocket? Look what we did for you." So the politics starts playing into that game. So this whole year of 2024 and almost half of 2025 is going to be a boom, basically. And then depending on who is elected, this coming November, you're going to see either the economy drop like a rock or continue to rise. Just depends on who's running the office. All right. So with all that political stuff out of the way, let's get back to the finances, right? So I started investing, and then I started learning about options trading, and that's kind of what turned me to yield max. Is I saw the potential and the money that could be made um, doing options trading. And for me, it'd be the wheel strategy whenever you do the options trading, and that's cool and all, but it still makes me nervous because I ended up several times where I ended up buying more. That's why I was making so much money back here on FRO. See how here on FRO I had $69, is because a couple times I ended up buying more stocks with a when I did a short sell, which is not bad. I'm not saying it was bad because I do like the dividend. It just increased the dividend dramatically, right? So I was like, well, you know what? It's a little too risky for me. Let's not go there. Let's just let someone else, the professionals, do the options trading for me, and I'll just make the money on the side. I'll do some options trading here and there, but it isn't that much. So I invested into that. I also bought in more whenever Coney came out, and then the next one with MRNY, and then the Yield Max ones that came out. I bought into those. You can see I didn't buy in too much. It was $9 there and another $7 there, but that's good money. Like you think about it every single month, even if I just made $9 a month from yield max. That's really good money compared to the rest of these. All right, now I'm going to show you the overall end results, right? So I bought a little bit of Square and AI, JEPI, and IWMY. The only reason why I bought into these Defiance funds or Definance funds was because of their yield and their return. Overall, I don't think they're bad at all. They should stabilize, I would hope, and then they would be just good for like long term, uh, good good money coming in. But you have to think too. These guys, all these, are highly taxable, right? This is going to be taxed at regular income, regular taxable income. So there's no tax advantage to investing in this anyway. And that's kind of where my mentality was now. I have my tax deferred account, which is my 401k, and sure, I can open up an IRA and do all these trades in them too, or Roth IRA. But I figure, I kind of want to be able to pull the money out now and not worry about the tax penalties. If I want to, let's say that I reach my goal of my account and I want to reach fire, I don't want to wait until I'm, 55 or 59 or 60 or even older to retire. I want to enjoy life now. Like I want to take my wife on trips to, around the world, go to Europe and things like that. And I don't want to be like 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. Not saying that that's old, but that's like the typical scenery that you see all these old people. What are you guys doing? We're just traveling the world. I would rather be able to move and function and do lots of stuff while I'm still relatively young. And then if I have to recover from something like, if I have to go back to work for whatever reason, I still have, years to do that and still build my account. But let me just get to the end over here. So if you look at the end for the end of 2021, here we go. So 2021, at the end of 2021, I just started investing. In that year, I made $155.44. So going into 2022 was the start of the next year. At the end of that year, I made $100 more, almost $100 more than the year before. So that's not bad. I mean, 155 to 227, right? But check this out. 2023 is whenever I started getting into the yield max stuff and then doing my own options trading. So here I go from $227.67 at the end of 2022. How much do you think I made just in 2023 at the end of 2023? Close to double. Look at this. From 2022, or sorry, from 2022 at $227.67 down to up to 537.58. That is really, really good. And here we are in 2024, and I've already made the same amount of money it took me the entire year of 2024 in 1 month. If you look right there, February, I made $541.09, not from options trading, but from stocks that do options trading. So those ETFs were doing really good. And my risk tolerance is different than everybody else's risk tolerance. My motivation and my why is going to be different than anyone else's whys. And most people have around about the same the goals to wanting to retire early, but other people may not want that risk. They may want to do the slow and steady and take their sweet time and reach that ripe age and have a nice cushion at 65, 67 years old. But for me, that's not my goal. That's not for me. Okay, so just adding up these 2 months right here, and looking at the trajectory, here it is in December of 2023. I made $124.21. Then you look here, I doubled my account in 1 month, going from here. And if you look further back, here we go, November. November was $61 when I first started with those ETFs. It was a September, right? So there was a really good month here. So $37.67. Then there was a really good month here, right, in October. Then it went down a little bit. Okay, that's fine, but it's still really good. It's still double, nearly double these months here. And then here we go, $61.89, and then doubled it, 124. Then I doubled it again, so $275, and then I doubled it again. Here we are at $541. So this month right here, I expect to double again. I'm not saying that I'll be able to double every time or every month, but I am basically taking every single dividend that I have and reinvesting it into higher dividend paying stocks. There is risk in it. There's risk in it for sure. But I plan to do it for a little while until I reach a monetary goal. My monetary goal is to have 10 grand every single month from these ETFs. And from those ETFs, I plan to live off of $5,000 of that amount, right? And the only way that I can do that is to make sure that I cut all the debt, cut all my bills, and cut all my expenses down to their bare minimum, right? And in that time frame of paying off debt and doing the velocity banking and getting my finances in order, that should be more than enough time for my account to build to that level of $10,000 a month. Now, will I be pulling out $10,000 a month? No, I don't plan to do that. What I plan to do is take half to three quarters, right? Take that out and use that to live off of. Pay my living expenses, pay for trips to go, wherever I want to go, and do pretty much anything I want to do whenever I want to do it. And the rest of the money, the other 25 to 50% is going to get reinvested. So it keeps growing, keeps growing, keeps growing. So that's that account. And so far, looking at this year compared to last year, I'm already up $823. And it hasn't even really gotten started yet. Sure, I got two dividend payouts here at $6.81. And then I have a projected 56 cents from one of my other dividend paying stocks. So let's take a look at my account. So this is a large amount of money. To me, this is a big amount of money. I'm not uber rich, like I'm telling you. So I'm not like these other accounts that you'll see on YouTube that go, "Oh, I live off of a $200,000 account a year. Look at me." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. Well, come buy my book and come buy my course, and I'm going to tell you how to do it if you buy my book or you buy my course." No, I'm going to tell you how to do it, and it's going to be free. So all the information I share is all 100% free. It's not about the information. It's about you taking action on your own, doing your own research and doing and executing your own policy, right? Whatever your goal is. So you can have goals all day long, but if you don't pursue them, you're just wasting your time. So this right here, I'll just show you real quick. This is how you find out about announcements for whoever it is that's paying the dividends. So you'll see Defiance in here under this global newswire. You'll also see YieldMax, and that way you can get an idea of when they usually send out their information. You can obviously go to their website. So I can go to YieldMax right now, and I can look up this information for their execution date, their declaration date, their record date, and their payment date, right? And so looking at this real quick, this looks really good. This is the put out or the information put out on this was August 3rd, right? For this time frame. And this wasn't that bad back then, right? This was really good. I was like, man, 68 cents every single month. I like that. Or Tesla at 83 cents. I was like, okay, well, I'll go for that. And Nvidia. Look at Nvidia right there. Nvidia was 81 cents. This was in August, right? So if you want to see what the news is, I would go to the website and click on newsroom, and it should show up on that first page. So you scroll down a little bit and you can type in keywords, whatever it is. We'll go YieldMax, right? So I just type in YieldMax, hit enter, and then we just scroll down. Oh, if I learn how to spell. YieldMax. No, I'm looking like a fool. Give me a second because it's in here. Fraud alerts. It's a lot of news. There's lots of news in here. But if you look on their declaration dates, usually at 8 o'clock in the morning. See, I'm going to scroll down. It's 8, 8, 8. There's so many announcements of things that are going on. Let's see here if I can find it real quick. Just scroll, scroll, scroll. You can look through here, and let's give it a try. Let's give it one more try. So I'm gonna go. Let's go NVDY. Here we go. That was quicker. So here we go. Here's an announcement. This is today, March 5th at 8:30 in the morning, and they announced their distributions. So this coming distribution that comes. They're gonna pay me because I own Tesla still. I didn't sell them. I own OARC, Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon or AMZ, Facebook. I don't own Facebook. I think I own Google. I don't know if I own Netflix, but I definitely own Coney. I don't think I own any of the Microsoft or Disney. I don't own them. ExxonMobil, I don't think I own them either. I think I do own AMD and Square, uh, Myrna, AI, and Misty. I definitely own those. I also own WiMAX and WiMag. So what I did was I just started looking at these reports, and I'm starting to do it now more so than before. I'm looking at these reports, and on the declaration day is when I buy. Well, that's when I buy the most stock. So if I'm dollar cost averaging every single week and I spread it out, I'm going to pick from this list the highest paying dividend stocks, anything over $1. So for me, that's my goal, right? So that's my goal. Everyone's different, but I would go for like I'll probably go for Facebook. I would definitely go for Nvidia for sure. That's $2.62. Tesla, I'm going to hold off on them because of their reverse split. They're at 81. And then Coney is $1.66. I would invest more on them. And then AMD, I would invest more on them. And MRNY, I'd invest more on them. What they're not telling you about this MSTI or MSTY is that one is really, really, really doing good. It's like compared to all these other numbers, if you look at this, the percentage over here, like 70%, 66, 33, 46. This one right now, currently, MSTY is over 150%. It's outperforming every single one of these. There's nothing nowhere near 100. Maybe Nvidia, right? It's 101%. But if we go to Misty, you're going to see it's over 150%. It's really, really doing good. So I plan to keep on buying more Misty. I have some now. They just came out in February 21st, so they're not going to pay dividend right now. They haven't been around for a month. But I guarantee you their first payment's going to be a monster. And the reason why they're doing so good is because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going nuts. It's going through the roof. So here is my account, right? I'm just looking at Doge, but we'll just go back. We'll go back to my main page. So if I go over here to Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin's at 63,000, but just a couple of days ago, here, look at this. Not even a couple of days ago, this morning was 68,000. But look at this trajectory. You see this? So that someone was saying, and I listened to a lot of people about the Bitcoin stuff, and it kind of makes sense. So there's these steps. If you look closely, there's these steps in the climb as it goes up, and it looks like they're going into a consolidation stage. So there's a step right here, and then down here there's a step, and then down here there's a step, right? And there's a little one right here. But you see, pretty much it was flat. It was all on consolidation for years. So most of the people were not really looking at it until they heard about the halving that's happening. So the FOMO is people fearing, oh, I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to be able to buy in not Tesla, sorry, when Bitcoin's at like 39,000. I need to buy in. I need to buy in. It's going to go up. Oh no, I need to buy in. I need to buy in. No, it's starting to run too late. I need to keep buying, keep buying, keep buying, keep buying. And then it plateaus like, okay, my opportunity is to buy now. Okay, buy, buy, buy. And then it jumps. Same thing. So these cycles are going to keep on climbing. And Bitcoin halving has not happened yet. It's going to happen in April. In April, the halving happens. It's where the value of the coin will pretty much double. Like, and then the quantity of the coins will be cut in half. The payout for people who do solo mining or do any kind of mining when they solve a block. Right now, it's like 6 Bitcoin for a solved block. But if you cut that halving happens, that cuts that payment in half. So now instead of it being 6, it's going to be 3 Bitcoin. So a lot more people are buying in now because the quantity and the amount of coins that will ever be made, I think, is a little bit over 21,000, or no, sorry, 21 million Bitcoin. So it's not like gold or silver or any of these other commodities or even the dollar bill, right? Any of these, not anybody, I'll just say any of these US treasuries, they can just print money all day long. If they run out of gold, they just go dig and mine more gold. Run out of diamonds, you just go, to mine more diamonds. Same thing with copper. It's not a limited supply like Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is explicitly a asset that is finite. There's only 21 million, and there will only be 21 million. And I think someone was saying somewhere that there's actually like 6 million or so coins that are actually lost somewhere, never to be found again. At least that's what I think. It could be just rumor, but that even increases the value of a single Bitcoin even more. And then there's rumors that there's a country who hasn't announced yet that they've been buying up Bitcoin and like crazy. So the utility is about to get real soon because the assets of the U.S., for example, us being the leaders in the currency world, we're about to be gone. I mean, we're about to be overtaken by all these cryptocurrencies. And not only that, just look at the way that the government handles money and debt and deficit. They just want there to be a blank check with no spending limits and just spend whatever they want on things that don't matter at all to the US or to the American people. Like these endless wars, for example, that we should not be even involved in. That's just my opinion. Everybody can think whatever they want to think, but that's just my thought. And I think that's where people are running to Bitcoin is because they're looking at the dollar bill and it's just going down, down, down. The value's just dropping through the floor. They need something that shows value. And $63,000 for one Bitcoin is still massive. Look at the percentage here. In the last 3 months, Bitcoin has gone $19,000 up. And just a couple days, or not a couple days, a couple hours ago, because you can see it right here, it was up $24,000, 55% growth just these last 3 months. That's crazy. Go back a year, even more. $40,000, 182% just a year ago. 5 years back, we had some craziness, but look at where we're at. We're at the levels we were in 2021. Look at 65,000. Here we are again in 2021. Not bad. That is really, really good. Really good right there. And here we are again. You notice that the lowest part of what they would call the bowl, this whole area is like called a bowl. The lowest part down here was still higher than the lowest part back here, way back here. Yeah, so it's doing really good. That's just Bitcoin. But anyways, let me show you the rest of my account. So Bitcoin's like a side tangent. I do invest in that. As you can see, I don't have much Bitcoin. I have enough, to make some money, right? I mean, I'm up like 290 something dollars. I bought that a while back, um, but I do have some coins. But you can see all these other stocks here. I have like 1 share of ABBV, 5 shares of here's Yield Max. So the Yield Max, I have 5 shares there, and Yield Max is only like a couple bucks. Think about it, $20 for a stock. See right here, this one, this AYY is only $17. So if you throw $100 in, you're gonna build up that account pretty quick. $100 every week into whichever one you think is gonna do good. And this is all risk, right? Everything is super risky. Stock market's always risky, but even these are even higher risk because they're so new. These ETFs are very, very new. They don't have much history to them. So I would take it with a grain of salt. Like if I do a 3 month back, so it's over 3 months. Let's go a year. I guess it's been around for over a year. Here we go. When they started. They started in November. It hasn't been over a year. There's no way they've been here for a year. But here you go. So they started here in November. November 28th is when they started. And then you go to where they are today. Look at it's dropped. So that's what you got to worry about. So your NAV is dropping. So you got to look at that. But it's also coming back. AI, I think, is still going to be a very valuable asset in the future. I mean, everybody's trying to pursue it. You look at these different governments, you look at Microsoft, you look at Google, you look at um, Tesla. They're pursuing AI. I think some rumor was that ChatGPT was working with Elon Musk, and then they had a falling out or something like that, and so they went and did their own thing. Um, let's go and look at these other ones. So I got AMDY. See, I only got 4.8 shares right there. And there's AMZ, right? 4.49 shares. There's Aptly at 4.5 shares. You see how I'm saying? But look at Coney. See, Coney, I have 227 shares. Not bad at all. And so that should be a nice paycheck at that dollar. I think it was $1.60 something is what they're going to pay for the dividend. So I'm looking at a little bit over $300 this coming week at the end of the week. See, like these guys like that just takes forever to grow when you're only getting pennies and the shares cost you $57.37. It's very expensive to buy the shares, and you get so little money. It's like it's not even worth it. Look at this. I've only grown since I've opened this account. I've only grown $6.93, and that's all dividends. Dividends and a little bit of growth. Not much growth here. You can see it's pretty much flat, right? It's not much there. So let's go back to this. And I bought a lot today. I bought a lot of NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA. So here you go. I got 215 shares of NVIDIA, or the NVIDIA, because that pays $2.60 something cents, right? And so you see what I'm saying? Like I am just investing in the highest paying dividend at this point for now until my account reaches a certain goal, and then I'll take that money that as it comes in, because the goal is to have that income. As the money comes in and it reaches that $10,000 mark, I don't care if the value of Tesla drops. I don't care if the value of Nvidia drops, because I know at the end with this whole crypto thing, Nvidia, people buy those Nvidia graphic cards like crazy. Why do they buy them like crazy? Because they're using the GPU power from those boards to crypto mine. And it ain't just Bitcoin that they're crypto mining. We're talking about Litecoin and all the meme coins and all these other utility coins. They're mining because there's a lot of money in that solo mining stuff. If they can solve blocks, they get massive rewards in some cases. So they will always be buying the NVIDIA graphics card. And then you have the AMD microchips. Like the AMD microchips are in some of these NVIDIA graphics card and other graphic cards as well. Microsoft should be starting to make money. AI is using a lot of technology as well. So you're going to see AI tied to Microsoft, tied to Google, tied to Tesla. Those stocks are going to go up. There's just no way around it. They're going to increase in value. That's how I view it. So I could be completely wrong. I could be completely insane. I think in the long run, if I stick with yield max, I'm going to end up just putting more money into the YMAX and the YMAG funds. I'm definitely going to buy more of that MSTR. I think it's in here somewhere. Here it is, Misty. MSTY. MSTY is tied to MSTR. And MSTR, if you try to buy MSTR right now, you're not getting paid any dividends. So you're going to throw like $1,000 in per share right now for MSTR and get nothing back except growth. Growth is fine. I'm not saying there's anything against it. But MSTY is growing with MSTR, but I only have to spend $27 a share, right? $27.41 a share to buy and get the dividend that's about to come off this thing. I think Misty is going to be massive this year and part of next year. So, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because the whole Bitcoin thing, right? Bitcoin's going to keep climbing. all these institutions that have massive amounts of Bitcoin in them are going to grow as well because of the amount of people that want to invest in Bitcoin. A lot of boomers and people even in generation Gen Zs or Gen X, sorry, not Gen Zs, Gen X people like myself, we are like looking at, hey, we need to get serious about our retirement because if you're paying attention to the news, you see, hey, Social Security may not be here. And I'm one of those millennials that be like, not millennials. What am I talking about? I'm a borderline millennial. I keep saying that anyway. But I am a Gen X. My birth year was in 1979, so I'm like right on the cusp of that millennial laziness. At least that's how I view it. I could be wrong. There's some people I know that are Gen X and millennials that are just as lazy as the rest of us. And there's also people that work super hard as the rest of us too. I fall in that camp of working harder, right, and working smarter, not harder. I do work hard when I need to work hard, but I work smarter so that I can work, less hard in the end. So I'll put in all the effort, put on the blood, sweat, and tears in the beginning, just so that I can like kind of coast later on. And that's how I view this trading is I'm trying to throw in as much of my labor and my time into this economy or into these investments so that I can coast faster, smoother, and better. So I know a lot of that doesn't make much sense, but investing is definitely important in reaching those goals, right? So let's look at anything else I got here. I guess there's nothing else, but that's pretty much all I have. And then I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew where I stand. My account's been doing okay. It's growing. I mean, it's definitely growing. You can see that I'm at like almost $30,000 in growth in my account. If I look, let's see, overall, well, here's the last year. And the only reason why this big old huge spike is happening right now is because of crypto. Right? Crypto's just look at this thing. Like I'm pretty much flat the whole time in this last year. Dips down a little bit, goes up a little bit, goes back down a little bit, and then bam, starts rocketing up. Do you see a little bit of retracement there? But that's not the end. It's definitely not the end. That's happened multiple times, every halving that's happened with Bitcoin. Unfortunately, we can't go back further to watch how everything's climbed. But if you look here, the halving had happened around, I think it was 2019, and then it started climbing, and then it climbed dramatically, and then it dropped. So it starts dropping here, and then climbs again, and then drops again after 2021. I think the halving must have happened around here. I think it was in this year, 2021. It may have started progressively growing over 2020 and then really blossomed like crazy towards the halving. Halving happened, it drops like this, like the retracement that you're seeing up here. See, there's a retracement happening right here. This retracement here, this retracement right there is the same thing that's occurring over here on this top. It's going to be a little retracement. It'll come back down and bounce back up. Retrace a little bit, bounce some more. That's how I view this next cycle is going to be just like this. It's just going to be like this, but it's going to be a lot higher. Your next lower level, this lower level, is going to be as high as this peak up here. That's what my prediction is. But again, I'm not no crypto expert, but that's my projection on what's going to happen with Bitcoin at least. And then you're going to see everybody else like the Litecoin and Solana and all these other coins. They're going to follow suit. All the meme coins are going to follow suit. They're going to bounce and they're going to grow. They're going to blossom, and the interest is going to kick in, and people are going to want to invest in them. So the FOMO will kick in. I say that if you're invested into it now, don't buy anymore, and just wait it out, see how it goes. Let it kind of rest. When it gets back to like this kind of area right here, this is the time that you invest.
not when it's doing this. Whenever things are spiking like this, you do not buy. Like right now, you don't buy more. You don't buy more stock. You either have it or you don't have it. And if you don't have it, you don't buy into it. Just wait until it reaches its peak and comes back down. It's going to be around this area. I think it's going to be anywhere around this area right here. This is going to be the new low in the future after, I think after probably about May. I would say May. April, May of 2025 is whenever you're going to see it's already reached its peak and it's going to start coming down. That's just my prediction based on historical actions of what Bitcoin does. And it's nearly the same identifiable cycle every 4 years. And every 4 years, what causes it is the halving. And the halving is what's coming. That's coming on April 1st of this year. So the Bitcoin's got a long ways to grow. This is just barely the first leg of its growth. That's like this little bit over here. We're like in this little bit right there in the grand scheme of things, and we still have a long ways to go up and then back down about halfway retracement and keep going up and up some more to a new high and then over a little bit of a retracement, a little bit of a spike here, then that's it. That it's just going to mellow for the next 4 years until it does it again, the next halving. But anyways, I digress. Any questions, comments, concerns, any topic that you guys want to hear about or learn about, we can talk about those as well. But that's basically where I stand on my investments. Things are growing. I expect this to be a really, really good year for me. I seem to be making a lot bigger strides nowadays, especially since I turned on leverage on my Robinhood account and using that leverage wisely and not using all of it, right? And I think your account has to be at like 10,000. I think your account level has to be around 10 grand before you even considered to qualify um, for margin. But you also have to be a gold member as well, which it costs you like $5 or something like that. $5 a month for that gold status or whatever it's called. Um, it's kind of worth it to me, but it's definitely worth it when you can get the leverage where I don't have to qualify for a loan. It doesn't show up in my credit, and it's free cash for me to use in my investments. Then I can use my dividends that are being paid to me to pay back my margin. I just got to learn, do not keep spending more than a certain amount, kind of like how you would create your credit cards. Don't go past a certain limit. Well, for me, my limit is 50%. Keep it at 50%, and it should be higher, right? I should say I shouldn't spend no more than 20%, right? So let's say I had 10 grand to borrow. I shouldn't borrow any more than $2,000, right? So, but in my case, my account's worth a lot more, so the leverage is a lot higher. But I also see the potential of the return on investment coming in to pay for that. And then as I keep adding more money into the account, so too does paying off my borrowed margin um, as well. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I hope that you have a great day, great night, great week, and a great month, and a great future. And I will talk to you next time.